Hello everybody and welcome to your virtual studio. Today we have a 30-minute stretch class, completely body weight, but if there's any props that you have at home that you'd like to bring in, you're most welcome to. We are going to start with a little bit of a foot stretch, so just make your way to one end of your mat. We're going to be in like a kneeling position. We're going to curl our toes into the floor and then walk our big toes together. And then ideally we want to have maybe the ankles fairly close to each other, just as a bit of feedback and just to know where we're at there, connecting the feet and the heels and the knees together. So once you have the toes connected, maybe heels, maybe ankles, just start to really gently. This can be quite strong for some of you, and maybe for others it won't feel as that, but I know for myself it's quite intense. So as you gradually move your weight back over your heels, just try and make sure that all of your toes, all 10 toes, are tucked into the floor, just checking in that your pinky toes are still curled under, and also that you're not just giving your weight to one side of your body. So your body is quite clever and very intelligent, and it will know the side of your body that is holding more tension, and you might notice yourself just leaning off to one side to combat that extra load. So if it does get too much, you can always walk your hands and just support yourself on your knees or on your thighs, or just rest your hands down on the mat to alleviate some of the extra weight. So just take a moment to settle your breath, especially if it is fairly intense, if it's quite strong. Just try and bring focus to your breathing with a big inhale in through your nose and then a big exhale out through your mouth. And you can even really focus on the exhales and force the exhales out to be quite dramatic, if that's something that's feeling good for you today. So we're only going to give this about 8 more counts. And last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now take your time just to walk your hands down onto the mat. Walk it out until you're in a 4-point kneeling position. And then you're going to pat your toes out and just bring some blood flow all the way through the feet to your toes. And now we're going to set up for a nice rejuvenating child's pose. So option to take your knees wide, or if you prefer knees close together, you're most welcome to go there. And then sit your butt over the top of the heels, arms stretching forward, and your forehead starting to make its way towards the floor. If there are any shoulder issues, or if it's feeling just this is a little bit too strong for now, bend your elbows and just rest your hands so that they're supporting your forehead. And then once that starts to feel enough and you can go a bit further, then you might like to walk your arms all the way out into an outstretched position. So just know that this is your own practice. So choose your own adventures and modify as you need to. Change things up as you need to. You don't have to wait for certain cues if your body does not feel right in a particular position. So always check in, listen to your body, and notice how far you can go, and notice when to pull back. So as we make our way into child's pose, just take your time to really get as comfortable as possible. We're not going anywhere too quickly, so I want you to melt into this position and then just become aware of your body on your mat. Become aware of the space that surrounds you, and then notice how your physical body is feeling with your mental and emotional bodies. So usually when we're feeling quite anxious or emotional, our physical bodies tend to tense up and tighten up as a result. So notice how you're feeling on those 3 levels, and just bring that gentle awareness in, and notice how you can move through the next 30 minutes or so with that in mind, and the observing or the observation that you have now of your body. So maybe it's more of a gentle self-love practice, or perhaps you really need to open out the physical body and really work through those deep stretches and deep sensations. So we're going to stay here for about 5 more counts. And then with your next breath, we're going to walk our hands over towards the right-hand side so that we're starting to create this gentle side bend down the left-hand side of the body. So a little bit of a half moon shape down the left side. And just notice that your right armpit will most likely want to dip downwards to the floor and your left armpit might lift up. Just see if you can give them a little wrestle and make them as level and as even as you can. Breathe into both sides of the shoulder blades and down those lateral lines of your body, those side lines of your body. Stay with this for 5 more counts, letting that breath settle. Last 3 and 2 and 1. Now walk your hands forward through center. Nice and slowly, nice and easily walk them to the left. Now allowing that side bend to take place on the right side of your body. Breathe around the fingertips, down the outer side of the arm, over the side of the shoulder blade, down the side of your body. Checking out those armpits. Is your right armpit now lifted? Is there a way that you can draw it downwards and level the right armpit with the left armpit? Still sending energy down through the arms and out of your fingertips. Can you feel that breath moving throughout the body? Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly stretching your arms forward to the top of the mat, back through the center. Now starting to lift the tailbone to move through your puppy pose. Tailbone comes up nice and high, chest drops nice and low, gazing perhaps forward to your fingertips or just resting your forehead on the floor. Take a few rounds of breath, bring the energy back through the arms, through the fingertips, to the back of the shoulder blades in that middle spine area. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very gently rolling back over into your child's pose. Bring your hands to the knees, push the floor away, and then roll yourself up. Give your shoulders a big shrug and rolling at the top. Maybe even a head roll, a bit of a stretch, maybe looking left and right, up and down, whatever you're feeling drawn to. And then moving back to your 4-point kneeling position. So hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips. Stretch your right leg out behind you, lift it up to about hip height, and then push the floor away to rise up a little bit more through the chest. Reach out of the right toes. Now bend your knee and tuck your knee toward your nose, making a cat stretch through the center. Right leg goes back. Reach it out nice and long. Pull the chest away from the floor. Knee to nose, cat stretch through the center, and reaching that right leg back. And we're going to continue with that action, drawing the knee to the nose, cat stretch through center, and pushing that leg away. Now you can choose to either bring a little bit more intensity and a little bit more energy to the movement, or keeping it slow paced and detailed. So check out what your body needs and moving with that. Keep this going for 10 counts. Last 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your right leg back out behind your body. Stretch out through the toes, and then stretch your right leg outside of your right hip. Rest your right foot on the floor. Take your right arm up to the sky and open into that twist. Reach your fingertips up, puff the chest up, and thread your right arm underneath your left arm. You may or may not be able to get your shoulder to the floor, so just check out what feels right, and you may even need to adjust the left arm right forward to the top of your mat. Take a nice big breath, inhale. With your exhale, can you reach a little bit further? Stay for 5, stay for 4, for 3, and 2, and 1. If your left hand's been adjusted, bring it back. Push the right arm back to the sky. And now we're going to thread the needle underneath the left, but find just this flowing movement now, reaching back to the sky, threading it underneath your left. And let's continue for 4 more. Thread it under the left, reach to the sky, 3 more, thread under the left, reach to the sky, 2 more, thread under, lift up once more, thread under, and lift up. Bring your right hand underneath your right shoulder, lift your right leg away from the floor, kick it back, curl your left toes down and pike the hips up, right leg stays in an arabesque or 3-leg dog. Reach up, stretch out of your toes. Now we're going to pull our right knee forward through pigeon pose. So adjust your hands as you need to, gliding the knee up to your right wrist, and then stretching out through the left leg. Using the floor, press away, lift the chest up, crown of the head to the sky, wriggle out through the hips. Take a deep breath and lower the chest. Melting down your chest over the top of the knee and the thigh. Maybe resting your forehead if it feels good, getting as comfortable as you can. You might even explore stretching the arms forward and lowering your chest a little further, deepening yourself into this position, feeling all the sensations, and allowing your breath just to work through it. Continue to hold and breathe, going further or coming out a little bit. Here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing your hands back towards your right knee, right foot. And as you rise up, curl your left toes into the floor and then pike the hips up, stepping your right foot to meet your left foot. Walking it out on the spot, pedaling it out, bending your right knee, your left knee, lower one heel then the other, keeping your tailbone lifted. And now we're going to walk our hands to our toes. So soften both of your knees on the way in, grounded at the heels, grabbing hold of your elbows as you find your ragdoll. Pull the belly in and up, fold your body in half, dropping further over the top of the thighs and the knees. Can you let the crown of the head fall down to the floor? Release all tension through the back of the neck. Inhale. With your exhale, start to create a little bit of a rock. A little rotation. Rolling to the outer edge of the right knee and the outer edge of the left knee. Letting momentum create that movement. Here for 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Just stopping yourself back through center. Releasing that swing ever so gently, softening the hands back towards your toes. Walk yourself out as you find your 4-point kneeling position. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders, left leg stretches out behind you, reach to the toes. Press the floor away, lift the chest up a little higher. Knee comes into the nose, cat stretch through the center. Left leg goes out behind you, stretching long once again. Knee to the nose, scoop your belly in, pull the tailbone under. Stretch the left leg out long, push the chest up and away from the floor. And again, continue with this movement. Knee to nose, cat stretch. Stretch out long, gazing forward, lifting the chest. Start to feel into your body and notice what flow you'd like to move with. Is it a little bit quicker? Is it still slow, smooth, and detailed? Feeling the energy run through the body. Feel your breath working with the movements. Keep this going for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The left leg goes back behind you, reaching out through the fingertips. Stretch the left leg outside of the left hip and lower the leg to the floor. Lift your left arm to the sky, find a twist, reach up, hold up, pushing nice and tall, reaching for the stars, and now the left arm comes underneath the right as we thread the needle. You may or may not get your left shoulder to the floor, and you may or may not need to adjust the right arm and stretch it forward to the top of the mat. Looking underneath your right armpit, feel into that beautiful twist. Use your breath as you settle in and get as comfortable as you can. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If your right hand's been adjusted, bringing it back, push the left arm back to the sky and find that twist. Thread the needle once again. This time we come straight back to the sky and just feel into the flow. Thread it underneath the right, back to the sky. 4 more here, underneath the right, and back to the sky. 3 more, threading under, lifting and reaching. Last 2, and back. Once more, thread under, and reaching for the sky. The left hand comes underneath the left shoulder. Now we lift the left leg and kick it back behind us. Stretching it out, curl the right toes into the floor, pike the hips up, a 3-leg dog, or left leg to arabesque. Push high, reach the left leg as high as you can go. Open out across the hips and the groin. When you're ready, we're going to set up for our pigeon pose. Left knee comes forward. Adjust the hands as you move yourself through your plank. Lower the left knee, reach the right leg long behind you. Use your hands as you push the chest away from the floor and lift the crown of the head to the sky. Inhale. With your exhale, start to melt down, resting your chest closer over the left thigh. Setting the arms up through genie, maybe resting your forehead, or perhaps even exploring reaching the arms forward and letting yourself get a little bit deeper through the stretch. Stay wherever you feel most comfortable. Wherever you're feeling that breath is working throughout your body. Flowing that energy, flowing that oxygen. Stay for 8 more counts. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Start to use your hands. As you press up through the floor, lift the chest up once again. Start to curl your right toes under. Pike your hips to the sky. Left leg returns to meet the right. Pedal the legs out. Walking on the spot. Use the hands as you push into the floor. Lift the tailbone higher and higher. Start to walk your hands back towards your toes. Finding your way into your forward fold as you arrive. Grounding both heels, softening maybe a little into the knees. Keep the arms long this time and start to sway your body. Maybe moving like a figure 8 or just allowing the body to work from one side to the other. You can feel into it and move as you please. Perhaps even closing down the eyes and moving just with your own intuition. Brushing the floor, softening the knees, bending and extending, whatever feels right. As though you're moving with the wind. Keep this going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Softening back through the center, just gradually getting there into stillness. Heel toeing the legs just a little bit wider than your hips. As you open the legs just a little bit wider, step one hand over the other. Stretch your arms through the upper area of your thighs, a little bit higher than your knees. Clasp over the fingertips and then start to pulse your upper body through the thighs. Now you might do this with straight legs, or you might have a bend into both knees just to soften the hamstrings. Keep bouncing here, making this a dynamic stretch. Pulsing through for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to bounce towards the floor in between your big toe on the right and the left. Still pushing your tailbone back behind you, bouncing up and down now. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Soften into the knees. Reach your arms out wide. Lift them up and over the back of your spine. Interlace the finger knuckles. Stretch the arms to straight. Squeeze between your shoulder blades. Send the knuckles behind your neck to the back of your head. Lift up and out. Holding. Breathing, opening across your chest. Through the shoulder head. Here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Allowing the hands to come back towards your toes. We do a little spiral here, twisting around to the top of the mat, taking a seat on your bottom and rolling yourself down. Bending your knees, planting your feet firmly into the floor about hip distance apart so that your toes, knees, hips, and shoulders all run in line with each other. Let's start to roll up along the spine, moving just through our normal Pilates hip roll. So we will start at the tailbone, move through the lower part of the spine, the middle spine, and then the upper spine. Bringing energy into the back of the body, and then try to find a little space across our hip flexors at the top. So really lifting to open across the front. Just 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your time to let the hips roll all the way down into the floor. Pedal your feet, so heel toe them to the very edge of your mat. Open your arms into a big capital T. Drop your knees over to the left hand side, letting your right knee fall along the inside of your left foot. Now we're going to pick up the left foot and just rest it gently on top of the right knee, and allow that to act as a little anchor as it draws your right knee closer towards the floor, stretching down through our hip and our quads. Breathing into that position. If at any time it feels too much, just remove your left foot, placing it back onto the floor. Stay with this. Breathing out any tension. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Taking the left foot back to the floor, winding the knees back to the center, folding your knees over to the right, so that your left knee now falls on the inside of your right foot. Now we'll pick up our right foot and rest it on top of the left knee, allowing that foot to act as a little weight, a little anchor, drawing it down towards the mat. Stretching right up to the very top of the thigh towards that hip area, and stretching along the front of your quads. If at any stage it becomes too much, right foot goes back to the floor and just rests there. Let your breath do its work. Let it move through the areas that are holding onto that tension. Feeling that stretch become a little softer, a little lighter. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently lower the right foot to the floor, winding the knees back towards the center. Picking up the knees to a tabletop, the toes, knees, and thighs connect. Folding the knees over to the left, looking over your right shoulder. Take a nice big inhale. With your exhale, lift your knees back to center, fold them to your right. Look to your left shoulder. Take a nice big inhale. And take a nice big exhale, lift the knees back to the center. Fold them to the left. This time stay for just a moment. Now bring your right arm to close over the top of the left, and then open it back out. Lift the knees back through center. Fold the knees over to the right. This time the left arm closes over the top of the right and opens back out. Press the knees back through center. Grab the back of the thighs right up at the creases of the kneecaps. Lift your shoulders and look to your belly button. Start to massage the spine. If you can handle it, roll at least 5 times. Keep your chin tucked into your chest. Curve your spine like a C shape. Try and avoid the flat areas of the back. And once you've completed maybe 5 or so rolls, find your way up through to a seat. Turn to face forward. Kick your left leg back behind you. Right leg will sit forward in our mermaid position. Reach your arms out beside your hips, right arm to the side. Start to bend towards the left. Breathe into the right side of the body. Stay for a moment. Right arm to the right hip, the left arm lifts. And now let's create some nice flowing movement as the arms cartwheel from one side to the other. For 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Kick the legs around to the other side. So the right leg is now behind. Left leg is now forward. The arms stretch out past the hips with the left arm. Bend towards the right. Stay for a moment. Don't rush this one. Stretch and breathe. Left arm down, right arm up, side bend. Let's find a nice flowing movement and cartwheel the arms from side to side, being sure to keep our chest facing forward. Last 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Both hands to the left. Roll all the way down, kick the legs out behind you. Soften the thighs down, hands around your armpits, around the side of your chest. Lift yourself up to find your swan. Maybe not extending completely at the elbows just yet. Perhaps waking up first with just a few to the elbows, and then maybe once you feel good, can come all the way up. Breathing in on the way down, expelling all of the air out on the way up. Here for 5, and 4, 3, and 2, and 1 more. And lower the chest all the way down. Pick yourself up to find 4-point kneeling. Knees nice and wide, toes connect. Reach your right arm to the sky. Bring it back and left arm to the sky. Alternating right side to left side. And again. 4 more. Right arm up. 3. And 2. And 1 more here. And releasing down, dropping through your child's pose, stretching your arms forward. Lower the chest. Fingertips are reaching to the top of the mat. Get as comfortable as you can. Close down your eyes. Let your breath work from the toes through to your fingertips, and from your fingertips back through to your toes. Try and release completely now, softening all of your joints, softening your breath, and taking 3 more full cycles of your inhale and your exhale. One more round, inhale. Take your time as you start to bring your hands toward your knee. Push the floor away and rebuild your spine. At the top, give your shoulders another big roll. Shake your head up and down. Shake your head out left and right. Find your way into a comfortable seated position and roll the shoulders up and back and forwards. And then once you are ready, settling yourself up through the center in a comfortable position and floating your arms over your head to the sky. Join your palms together in prayer. With your exhale, guide them down to your third eye. Hope and dreams. Bring your hands to your lips. Truth and honesty. And bring your hands to your heart for love and compassion. Blink your eyes when you're ready. Relax your hands. And well done. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you're feeling nice and relaxed and also stretched out. I will see you soon.